writing. Next, identify the major inadequacies in the administration of the welfare programs of the weaker sections. Suggest effective strategies and alternative measures to ensure their proper implementation and to enhance beneficiary satisfaction. So, what are the major inadequacies in the administration of welfare schemes of the weaker sections? I think these are the very straightforward questions. So, what are the major weaknesses? What are the major weaknesses? The first one is the emphasis is more on providing temporary relief. The emphasis is more on providing temporary relief. What you call it as the emphasis is on poverty alleviation than on poverty removal. The emphasis is on poverty alleviation than on poverty removal. Poverty alleviation than on poverty removal. Second, subsidies are given more importance. Subsidies are given more importance than focusing on infrastructure. Subsidies are given more importance than focusing on improving infrastructure. Third, still centralized top-down approach to development. Fourth, multiple schemes. Multiple schemes with the same objective. Resulting in wastage of expenditure, wastage of money. Multiple schemes. Next, wrong identification of beneficiaries. Real beneficiaries are still kept out of the schemes. Real beneficiaries. For example, when you are making Aadhaar compulsory, most of the real beneficiaries may not have Aadhaar. Real beneficiaries are kept out of the schemes. Next, line item budgets. Wherein expenditure is mentioned and it is not linked to outcomes. Line item budgets. Next, still bureaucracy centric development. Next, most important, complete absence of performance evaluation. CAG does not audit welfare schemes. Next, in spite of RTA, high levels of secrecy. In implementation. Next, politicization. Because of old localism. So, after writing all these things, you can mention about some of the schemes which have been implemented, which are being implemented by the government. You can talk about some of the schemes. and then you talk about what should be done, what are the reforms. You can talk about what are the reforms. So what are the reforms? First one is there should be a time limit for subsidies. Subsidies cannot be given forever. Through political consensus, subsidies should be given only for one generation. Through political consensus, subsidies should be limited to only one generation, say for a period of 25 years. Time limit. Next, the emphasis should be on removing poverty than on providing temporary relief. Removing poverty. Next, as suggested by 7th Pay Commission and other commissions, the number of centrally sponsored schemes should be less than 10. Number of centrally sponsored schemes should be less than 10. Less than 10. Next, merger of all the schemes having similar objectives. Merger of all the schemes to avoid duplication and wastage. Next, objective identification of beneficiaries. Objective identification of beneficiaries on the basis of quantifiable standards. On the basis of quantifiable standards. Next, outcome budget should be made compulsory for all developmental and welfare schemes. Outcome budgets should be made compulsory. Next, citizen-centric governance. Next, social audit should be made compulsory, and the recommendations should be implemented in both letter and spirit. Then use of technology, Jandan, Aadhaar and mobile. Use of technology to ensure transparency and accountability. So like this you can write as much as you want.